You know, back when I was younger, I worked as a restaurant manager. And I used to eat whatever was in the window, burgers, fries, late at night on shifts, meals even after shifts. It felt normal because that's what most people working at the restaurant would do. But I started to notice something. Every time I loaded up on greasy food or sugar, my energy tanked, my focus disappeared. I'd get tired, sluggish, foggy. I couldn't think clearly, and I couldn't execute on the things I knew I needed to do. And that's when I got an aha moment. It just hit me. This wasn't just about food. This was spiritual warfare. Because the enemy isn't just after your health. He's after your productivity. He wants you drained, distracted, and too tired to pursue your calling. And the fastest way for him to do that is through what's on your dinner plate. The very first sin in the Bible came through food. So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree desirable to make one wise, she took of its fruit and ate. In Genesis chapter 3, verse 6, it says that. Eve didn't fall because she built some huge altar to Satan. She fell because she ate what God told her not to. And today, we're doing the same things. The serpent used food like witchcraft, control, a tool of deception, a way to bypass her discernment, and to control her destiny, which ultimately led to the fall of man. And today, he's still using the same strategies, only now it looks like sugar, processed food, caffeine, overdoses, drugs, alcohol, and addictions that leave you too weak, too unfocused, and too numb to fulfill your calling. And this isn't just about health, this is about your destiny, because food can be spiritual warfare. And if the enemy can control your appetite, he can control your future. So let's talk about the enemy uses appetite as a gateway. Genesis shows us the blueprint. The devil didn't show up to Eve with chains. He didn't scare her into obedience. He tempted her appetite, and that's witchcraft, manipulation. He used the physical elements to control spiritual outcomes. And it didn't stop there. Esau sold his birthright for a single bowl of stew, for soup. Thus Esau despised his birthright in Genesis chapter 25, verse 34. He gave up his inheritance for appetite. The Israelites in the wilderness longed for Egypt's food instead of trusting God's manna. We remember the fish we ate freely in Egypt, the cucumbers, the melons, the leeks, the onions, and the garlic. Numbers 11:5 says, their craving kept them wandering in the wilderness. Notice the pattern? Appetite equals access. And when the enemy can control your cravings, he can manipulate your destiny. Food becomes the enemy's spell, and most people don't even realize they're under it. Now let's talk about modern slavery through food. Look around. Obesity is normal. Energy crashes are normal. People joke about being addicted to coffee, sugar, or fast food. But spiritually, this isn't a joke. The Bible calls our body the temple of the Holy Spirit. Do you not know that your bodies are the temples of the Holy Spirit who is in you? You are not your own. You were bought at a price. Therefore, honor God with your bodies. Corinthians chapter 6, 19 through 20. But if the temple is filled with garbage, how can the Spirit dwell in power? Sugar is more addictive than cocaine. Fast food is engineered to keep you craving more. Processed food is full of chemicals that literally dull your brain. This is sorcery on your taste buds. Corporations design food like the serpent designed the fruit, pleasing to the eye, desirable for taste, but deadly to your body and to destiny. And here's the thing, a sluggish body leads to a sluggish spirit. If the enemy can keep you bloated, tired, and foggy, he doesn't need to send a demon to attack your finances. You'll sabotage yourself by being too exhausted to think clearly, work diligently, or pursue your calling or vision. So let's talk about caffeine, drugs, and the numbing of character. Food is just the first layer of feeding the flesh, but when you give in to that, it often opens the door to deeper bondage. Take caffeine. A little can sharpen you, but too much, it leaves you irritable. It drains your adrenal glands. You start depending on it just to survive, and suddenly you've got no creative energy left. You're living off of stimulation, not inspiration. Then there's drugs and alcohol. The enemy loves to get people hooked because it numbs their true self. At first it feels casual, but over time you become more zombie-like. You're just in a routine, just surviving, unable to break out into your best self, your true character. Numbed, your growth is stunted. And food addiction feeds right into it. Refined sugar, stripped down and concentrated, hits harder than natural food. Food from the ground. It packs more punch. It's more potent, like a drug. That overindulgence doesn't stop at sugar. It spills into lust, laziness, and sin. You're feeding the literal beast within. And Proverbs 23:2 says, "Put a knife to your throat if you are given to appetite," because overindulgence leads to destruction. That's why fasting is so powerful, because fasting doesn't just starve your stomach, it starves the flesh. It breaks the spell. It breaks witchcraft. It tears down the control of the appetite. So let's talk about discipline in your eating. Here's the truth. If you can't control your plate, you won't control your purpose. Fasting is one of the most powerful spiritual weapons in the Bible. Why? Because it trains you to master your flesh. Jesus himself fasted for 40 days before launching his ministry. When he had fasted 40 days, 40 nights, afterward he was hungry. Matthew chapter 4, verse 2. He had to conquer his appetite before he could conquer his assignment. How powerful is that? And Paul said, "I discipline my body and keep it under control, lest that after preaching to others, I myself shall be disqualified." 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 27. So discipline over appetite equals authority and destiny. Think about it. If you can say no to sugar, you can say no to lust. If you can push away a plate, you can push away procrastination. If you can master your body, you can master your business. You can master your discipline. That's why the enemy loves to keep people enslaved to food, caffeine, weed, alcohol. Because if you stay addicted to what's on your plate and in your cup, you'll never walk in your full power. So let's talk about food, energy, and wealth. Money is energy. When you direct your energy in the right direction, it produces an outcome. It can produce value. So food isn't just spiritual, it's financial. When you eat garbage, your energy crashes. When your energy crashes, your productivity dies. When your productivity dies, your wealth building ability disappears. Yeah, you may be able to do a little bit, but you're not going to reach your maximum potential in that day. Do you think billionaires live off of Doritos, donuts, energy drinks, and late night weed sessions? No, they know their energy is a weapon. A clear mind makes better decisions. A strong body keeps showing up when others quit. Consistent energy means consistent outputs. And most people think the devil is attacking their money. Really, he's attacking their metabolism, their focus, and their creativity. Because if he can drain your energy and numb your mind, you'll never have the strength to pursue your calling. You'll never reach your destiny or purpose. So let's talk about the spiritual significance of fasting. This is why fasting is all over the scriptures. Moses fasted 40 days on the mountain and came back glowing with the glory of God. And then Esther called a fast, and it saved her entire people from destruction. Esther chapter 4, verse 16. Daniel fasted from rich foods, and God gave him wisdom 10 times greater than anyone else. Daniel chapter 1, verse 12 through 17. Fasting isn't just about skipping meals. It's about breaking food's control over you. It's about telling your flesh, you don't rule me, God does. When you fast, you sharpen your spiritual ears. You start to hear God more clearly. You see strategies you couldn't see before. You gain authority over the enemy because you've gained authority over yourself. And when you come back to eating, you do it with gratitude and discipline, not addiction. You're just grateful to have a meal. Fasting keeps you humble. When we overeat, we get arrogant and prideful and walk out of the spirit. And I'll never forget those days as a restaurant manager. And I was giving the enemy access to my productivity. Now I see it clearly. The same serpent who tricked Eve with fruit, the same enemy who stole Esau's birthright with stew, was tempting me with grease and junk food. So food can be used as witchcraft when it becomes a tool for control for the enemy, or becomes an idol. And most people are eating themselves right into spiritual slavery, and unfortunately, into an early grave. And I'm not saying you can't go enjoy a meal that you really desire, but it's habitually consuming those things. So the cost of comfort, the enemy whispers, eat whatever you want, drink whatever you want, light up, numb out, you deserve it. But comfort is the killer. Again, Esau lost his inheritance because he couldn't push past hunger. Israel wandered 40 years because they couldn't stop complaining about food. Comfort today looks like Uber Eats, bottomless coffee, late night snacks, weed to relax, alcohol to take the edge off. But spiritually, it's the same trap. Every time you give in, you reinforce weakness instead of strength. And Galatians chapter 5, 16 through 17 says, Walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh. For the flesh desires what is contrary to the Spirit. So discipline hurts in the moment, but it produces freedom in the future. The question is, do you want the short-term pleasure of taste and numbing, or the long-term power of destiny? So let's talk about how to break free. So how do you fight back? Start with awareness. Stop pretending food and substances don't matter. Admit this is a spiritual battle. Practice fasting. Teach your flesh who's boss. Clean your temple. This is why I always talk about keeping your flesh under. Don't overeat your flesh and starve your spirit. Flip it. Feed your spirit and keep your flesh under. Keep your food clean. The closer your food is to the ground, the way God made it, whole foods, the better, grass-fed, organic, fresh food that still carries life, not something processed, stripped, and dead. So ask God for strength to resist cravings and clarity to choose what fuels your destiny. Connect it to purpose. Every time you say no to junk or overindulgence, remind yourself you're saying yes to your assignment, your energy, and your future. Because once you break free from food and flesh addictions, you'll break free in every other area of your life. So tying it all back to business and wealth, listen, if you can't master your plate, your cup, and your cravings, you won't master your profits. Business success takes focus, it takes stamina, it takes clarity, and all of that flows from how you treat your body and what you depend on. When you eat clean, fast regularly, and stay disciplined, you not only strengthen your spirit, you sharpen your business. You make better decisions. You follow through. You get up easier. You're excited to get up. You feel good about yourself in the morning. You feel good about yourself when you lay your head down at night. You execute when others quit. The same self-control that pushes away sugar, weed, and alcohol is the exact same self-control that can build you a digital empire. So yes, food can be spiritual warfare. The first sin came through food. The first birthright, again, was lost over food. And today, destinies are still being destroyed at the dinner table. So don't let your appetite run wild. Keep the beast under control. And that's it for this video. If this video has changed your life in some way, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and share it with somebody who might need it. And if you want to sharpen your focus for more wealth, I invite you to check out my accelerated mindset training. This is the exact mindset that changed my life forever. Helped me to get more done in less time, helped me to stay hyper-focused, and to start crushing my goals like clockwork. And I also launched a one-person business digital empire blueprint where I show you how I made a whole salary online with the principles in the training. Links down below. Build your empire. And if you need any help or have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And I did just add the accelerated mind to the digital empire blueprint, so you get the 2 for 1. Price may go up soon. And the Power to Get Wealth book is still in progress. We're going to finish that up in the next few months. If you want to get on the early launch list, the link is down in the description at powertogetwealthbook.com. And again, that's it for this video. Be blessed, and I'll see you on the next one. I'll see you soon.